Hey guys, so in today's video I'm going to be talking about 5 Red Sox players that I really like for this upcoming season. I'm going to try to keep this video pretty quick, so let's just get right into it. The first player that I really like for this upcoming season is Ceddanne Rafaela. Now I'm going to go ahead and say it, Rafaela is not typically a player that I would pick for this. His underlying metrics don't look that great, and I know his defensive prowess is amazing, but to be honest, at the end of the day, offense is really what we're kind of looking for. But this spring training, he looks like a completely different hitter compared to what we've seen at the major league level thus far. This spring training, Ceddanne Rafaela is hitting .273 with 3 home runs, and that's not even including the home run that he hit in the breakout game. He's got 2 stolen bases, and he's been playing outstanding defense. His .901 OPS is just not something that I expected to see out of him. And to be perfectly honest, you don't have to squint that hard to see a lot of Mookie Betts in Ceddanne Rafaela's game. Now that's definitely a big comp, and it's getting tossed around by a lot of people, not just myself included. But to be honest, it's really hard not to mention when you see him play in live games. Rafaela's defense is amazing, his speed is well known, and he's actually done really well hitting in the minors. If he can cut down on the swings and misses while still maintaining that hard contact that he's shown this spring training, we could be looking at a player that's going to shock a lot of people this season. The second player we're going to talk about is Brayan Bello. Now I made a whole separate video talking about this, but I really do think Brayan Bello could be the next ace of the Red Sox. The Red Sox haven't really developed an ace caliber starting pitcher out of the rotation since Jon Lester and maybe you could argue Clay Buchholz, but I think Brayan Bello's that next guy. The Red Sox gave him that $55 million contract, and I really do think Andrew Bailey is going to do wonders for this pitching staff. Brayan Bello already has an amazing changeup that he can locate very well, and he's got the velocity on his fastball to be successful, but he's just not placing that in the right spot. I think he's just a few tweaks away from being an elite pitcher in this league, and this season could be the first year that we see that. The third player on today's list is going to be Greg Weissert. For those of you who don't know who Weissert is, he's one of the players that we picked up in the Alex Verdugo trade with the New York Yankees. Weissert has done really well in the minor leagues over the last 3 seasons, and when he came up with the Yankees last season, he actually didn't do bad at all. He had a 4.05 ERA in 20 innings pitched with 22 strikeouts, giving him a K rate of 9.9 per 9 innings. He did give up 3.6 walks per 9 innings, but honestly, throughout his entire minor league career, he's given up a similar amount of walks and been really successful. The most interesting thing when you watch Weissert play is just his slider looks elite. I mean, it looks the part of an elite reliever. I think Weissert's going to be one of those guys that surprises with the Red Sox, and I think he's one of those late bloomer relievers that just comes up and dominates the league for a few seasons. Greg Weissert, remember that name. He may not break camp with the Red Sox, but I do think he's going to be a big part of this next season's team. The fourth player we're going to talk about on this list is going to be Trevor Story. Now, I can already hear some of you guys on the other end saying that Trevor Story's washed. You guys are wrong. I'm sorry. If the Red Sox are going to be competitive, they need Trevor Story to be good, and I think if he gets 500 at-bats, he's going 2020 this year. He's just not been healthy, guys. That's all it is. He's not a bad player. He's just not been healthy. He's never been a guy that's going to give you a lot of batting average, but his defense, he's the best player on the Red Sox defensively. I know Ceddanne Rafaela is probably going to surpass him, but right now, Trevor Story, for what he's shown, is the best player on the Red Sox defensively. This year, he looks committed. The beard is looking great. Trevor Story is going to have a bounce back year this year. 20 home runs, 20 stolen bases. He's getting those. Book it. He's going to be a good player this year. Now, before we get to the last player on this list, I'm giving out a few honorable mentions because honestly, this spring training has gotten me really excited for this team. I think there's a lot more good players than you guys think. Rafael Devers, he's looked amazing this spring training. I don't know if this is quite the year that we see him break that 40 home run plateau and become that MVP candidate that we know is potentially in there, but Rafael Devers has looked really good this spring training. I think if there was a righty bat that could reliably protect him in the lineup, and if I could say for sure that Trevor Story was going to give you 500 at-bats this year, I probably would put him on this list, but for now he's sticking at honorable mentions. Vaughn Grissom, if he didn't get hurt, I'm telling you, he's on this list. I have another video talking about how I think Vaughn Grissom could potentially be a Xander Bogaerts type offensive player, but he injured himself this camp, so I just kicked him into honorable mentions. Masataka Yoshida, I think he's going to have another really strong season. I really just think he's going to have a lot of less wear and tear on him as we head into the second half, and if he can replicate what he did in the first half, he's going to be a beast this year. Pivetta has shown us flashes of just straight up dominance, and when you look at his Baseball Savant page, there is a lot of red on there. I think if Nick Pivetta can maintain himself in the starting rotation this season, he's going to be looking at a really nice multi-year contract this offseason. Okay, so the last player on today's list, and this might be kind of cheating because I think we all might feel this way, is got to be Triston Casas. Triston Casas, wow. I mean, honestly, what else is there to say? The Red Sox need to lock this guy up. This guy is the next superstar in the making. Look at his Baseball Savant page right here. It is just littered in red. Last season was his first full season in the big league, and look how good offensively he was already. Yes, his base running and fielding wasn't that great, but I think there is some room for improvement. But regardless of that, his offensive profile is just outstanding already. If he has the same type of season he did last year, over 600 plate appearances, he's over 30 home runs. I think it's almost a given he gets more than 30 home runs. His walk rate is amazing. There's just so much to love about Triston Casas. It is hard not to gush about him. If the Red Sox were smart, they would have already locked up this guy through his arbitration years. Give him $100 million, give him $120 million. I think that there's a way that you can find some sort of deal that makes this work for both parties. But he is the next big superstar for the Red Sox. Let's do a little comparison right here. Look at Triston Casas' baseball savant from last year and look at this one. Do you guys want to guess who this is? This is Paul Goldschmidt from 2022 when he won the MVP award. There's a lot of similarities right there. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. I'm going to try to do more similar type content like this as we head into the season. This is the first full year that I'm going to be making content for you guys. Really excited to see how it goes and where this community grows. Once again, I appreciate all the support that you guys have already given me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!